The kitchen really smells good. It looks like Mom made me some of my favorite muffins. They're apple muffins with a nice cream cheese filling. Hey, Mom, there's 2 missing. It's so dark outside. How is that possible?
What, 2? I think it only made 10.
Really?
Yeah. It's still dark outside, and I'm going to surprise Michael this morning with one of his favorite breakfasts. It's an apple muffin. It has a little surprise on the inside of it. So while I peel these apples, he's going to sleep in, and I'm going to make an apple muffin. Okay, I have finished cutting up these apples, and as you can see, I've cut them in pretty small little pieces because with them being in a small muffin, we want to make sure that they bake and they don't leave a watery residue around in the rest of the batter. So I'm going to set those aside. Those are a nice yellow delicious. I like using yellow delicious when I bake because they're so mellow and they cook up well into your flour and other products. Right here I have 2 cups of just plain flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm just going to give that a stir. Kind of like having the dry ingredients mixed up before I add the wet. That way all of your ingredients are pretty well distributed before you begin to have to stir those in. I'm going to set the dry ingredients over here out of the way, and I'm going to then take, this is a 4-cup measuring cup, and with that I'm going to add my liquid ingredients. Now I will need 1 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk, but if you want to use 2%, that will work out just fine. And also then 1/2 cup of a good vegetable oil. You can use canola oil if you want to. I'm just going to pour that in there till I have the right amount. I'm going to mix that up. I have 1 beaten egg. Pour that in there. And I'm going to add my cinnamon. Now this calls for only 1/2 teaspoonful. I like cinnamon. And cinnamon with apples, I think it needs just a little bit more. So I'm going to put 1 full teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Mix that up just a little bit. Pour in my wet ingredients. That one was big enough for us, so that I didn't have to dirty up that little pan. Mix that together. Now that that's all mixed up good, I'm going to add my 2 cups of finely chopped apples. Make sure they're mixed in evenly. And now it's time to mix up our center surprise. Okay, in this smaller bowl I have placed 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I've let that set at room temperature. And as you can see, it's nice and soft. And I'm going to take this orange. I have washed the orange off. And I need about 4 teaspoons of orange zest. And to that, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla. And for this next ingredients, I'm going to put 2 tablespoonfuls of honey. Now this is locally grown, but if you want to put in a maple syrup or even a white syrup, you can do that, but I like the taste of honey. So we're doing good old homegrown honey. There we go. Good old honey. I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to clean off my workspace here so I've got room to put it into my muffin pan. Okay, we're going to make our topping for it real quick. It takes 1/4 cup of plain all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/4 cup of oats. I'm going to take a fork and kind of mix them all together. This is sort of like a strudel topping. You don't have to mix it real well. You'll get a little more mixing. And we're also going to put in about 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now this is the hard part. You take 3 tablespoonfuls of cold salted butter. And I'm just going to cut that up into fairly small little slices into this. And then begin to work that in there until I get it all. Actually, this is the best way right here, is just with your fingers. Just work that in until it's all nice, crumbly. And as you can see, we finally got that butter all mixed in there. And it looks kind of like pie dough when you're mixing pie dough together. It's got that same consistency. Now we're going to add 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. Now if you want to, you can use a walnut. Walnut goes good with apple, but I'm just a pecan lover, so you'll see me using pecans instead of walnuts. Okay, I have turned my oven to 400 degrees and let that heat up while I'm putting my muffin mix into, I've just lined it with some little paper liners. And I've got a tablespoonful here, and I'm just going to put, not quite a tablespoonful in there. We want this to only be 3/4 full. I'm going to go ahead and fill these to where it's about a half full is what I want it right now. And I'm going to finish filling these up. Okay, I have these filled about halfway up. Take my cream cheese. It's set for just a few minutes, so I'm going to whip it up and make it nice and fluffy. And I'm going to take about teaspoon to a half of teaspoon and put in each one of these. Right in the center. That's going to melt down just a little bit as it cooks. And that cream cheese and honey inside that apple. Oh, I can't wait. I hope Michael oversleeps for a long time this morning. I may have 2 of these. Okay, I have gotten that, and now I'm going to put some more of the muffin mix on top. Now this is a little tall. You only want it about 3/4 full altogether. I'm going to make big ones here. They'll raise quite a bit, so they're going to raise to the top. And then we still have to put our strudel topping on it. So you need to be probably a little more careful than I was there to begin with. Spread that out. You want it to cover your cream cheese. Cream cheese is going to kind of cook and come up through that top anyway. And now we're going to just sprinkle that strudel mixture right on top. You don't have to be real careful with it and have it all even, but I like to have a little strudel on every bite I take, so spread it around a little bit. Okay, I've got all the strudel on there. I've kind of cleaned it off so that it's not in between. That's just to keep it from being messy. I'm going to put it into the oven and we're going to bake it for... Okay, it has been 20 minutes and I'm going to take these out. Set them here and let them cool. And kind of mash on it. See? I'm also going to take a toothpick and run down close to the edge because that's where the cake is at. And if it comes out clear, they're done. Oh, I think I hear him get him up. I better get my 2 right now.